Over 2,500 graduates passed out of Colombo University this year, and there are thousands more like them who are now graduates of Sri Lanka's many universities. But how many of these students will actually go on to find employment? An employment that actually meets their educational qualifications and expectations. Although they were among the lucky ones to secure a place in one of the country's universities, there is no guarantee that they will be equally lucky when it comes to finding employment.
රැකියාවක් සොයා ගැනීම කියන එක ඒ තරම පහසුවක් නෙමෙයි උපාධියකින් පස්සේ මම කැම්පස් එකෙන් අවුට් වෙන 2009 ඊට පස්සේ තමයි 2011 වසරේ අගෝස්තු මාසේ තමයි මට ගුරුපත් වීම ලැබෙන්නේ සෞන්දර්ය විෂය ගැන. ඇත්තටම මම ගොඩාක් සතුටු වෙනවා මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයෙන් අවුට් වෙලා අවුරුදු 1කමාරක් වගේ කාලයක් ඇතුළත රැකියාවක් ලැබීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්. හැබැයි සෑම විෂයකටම වගේම සෞන්දර්ය විෂය තුලත් ඔය විරකියාව කියන එක උපාධිධාරීන් තුල තිබුණා. විශේෂයෙන්ම සෞන්දර්ය විෂයන් සඳහා ගුරුපත් වීම ලබා දීපු කාල සීමාව ගැන කතා කරනවා නම් අපිත් එක්ක සෞන්දර්ය ගුරුපත් වීම ලබා දුන්න සමහර සහෝදරයන් හිටියා. ඒ අයගේ වයස අවුරුදු 40 සීමාවට කිට්ටු වෙලා තිබුණා හිටියා.
Educated in the districts of Polonnaruwa and Galle and a graduate of Colombo's Sri Pali campus, Tharanga was fortunate to find exactly the kind of employment she had hoped for. Because even though the unemployment rate in Sri Lanka has improved in the past 2 years, thousands of youth with and without university education face the challenge of finding jobs.
So that means the education system doesn't produce the type of worker the labor market is looking for. And also to get outside the formal education system, to get this training, those opportunities are not available for youth from rural areas, because most of the opportunities that are highly which would increase your employability is available in the western province and in urban centers across the country.
Dr. Nisha Arunatilaka and Anushka Vijayasinghe are part of a team of researchers at the Institute of Policy Studies in Colombo. One of the areas of focus is the paradoxical situation of labour shortages on the one hand, high unemployment on the other, and how it should be resolved.
If you look across the country, for example, Central Province and Southern Province both have higher unemployment among youth than in the Eastern Province. And in the Eastern Province, mainly between 20 to 24-year-olds have fairly high unemployment rate. But when you look across Sri Lanka, what you find is you can't really get a good idea about the quality of the jobs available just looking at unemployment rates. Because you find in provinces where there is a high concentration of agricultural work, there is low unemployment. That is not necessarily because you have good jobs in those areas, but because people are employed in agricultural activities even as unpaid family workers. So because of that, the unemployment rates go down. So but you find in the east actually that particularly the Batiklo district is where the unemployment is highest. It's very service oriented district. So you find higher unemployment, and in other areas, for example, Kandy district also is very similar. There is high unemployment among youth. It is also a district which is very service oriented. So you can't really look at unemployment rates alone and understand the labour market, the quality of the labour market.
Even within districts, there are differences. For example, in Jaffna Town, often there is anecdotal evidence to show that many young people are in fact not looking for jobs immediately. They are happy to wait, either because they are waiting for the ideal job to come. There's a lot of aspirations towards the public sector and white collar work, or there's a lot of remittance money coming in, and their families, and because of that these young people are quite comfortable. part of Jaffna like Point Pedro, the picture is vastly different. I was visiting an ice factory there a few weeks ago, and I heard that this owner of the ice factory had just won a grant to expand his ice factory. And news of this had got spread far and wide in Point Pedro, and there were hundreds of young people every day queuing outside asking the owner, when are you going to expand? You know, we want work. And this was in blue collar work, so a big contrast to young people in Jaffna Town. We know that traditionally young people, particularly graduates, educated youth, are very much inclined to getting into a stable, secure, pensionable job in the public sector. But it's not just that. Now, even though if you speak to the private sector, particularly in industry, manufacturing, they say that they have lots of jobs available, they can't find people to work. But when you go out and speak to young people who are either A-level qualified or above, and you ask them, why aren't you taking up some of these opportunities that are there in the local area, new manufacturing industries, they say we're not interested in that kind of work. It's part of a broader change in aspirations towards quote-unquote clean, uniformed service sector work instead of working in a factory. That mentality, the attitudes and aspirations are clearly shifting, and I don't think our private sector has really figured out how to match that. And until that mismatch continues, I think we will continue to see this unemployment among educated youth.